Back traders, market movers portion of our show. We got a lot of movers, and we'll start with one that's moving down.
Moving down, Amazon after their earnings report last night, disappointing. That actually put a damper on the entire market as it was moving down a few bucks after the Amazon report. Amazon is down 18 points right now, trading at 175.75 after closing at 194.44. So expect some weakness in your online retailers. If you're trading any of those, even stocks, sometimes it can filter into stocks like a UPS or a FedEx because they're doing a lot of the shipping for it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they show, and I don't think they're going to open down. We're up 8 points, but they may be a little bit weaker than a fair value would say for a UPS or FedEx. But what do you think of Amazon, Joel?
I think Amazon is trading some pretty good volume here in the pre-market. Made a panic low of 172.64 right after the numbers are released. Don't see it getting there today, but if in fact it does, anywhere under the 173 level, I'd start nibbling at this thing if I was short or was looking to do a counter trend trade. Also, looking longer term on the charts, looking at the monthlies here, 167 was a major level after the 172 level, but hey, I don't see it going there today. Coming back on the upside, it's really interesting here, Dennis. I'm looking at the pre-market trading, and this thing's really consolidating at the 176.40 level, the half level. So someone's working a piece of stock. I'd imagine with this kind of break, it's a short here trying to wiggle out. I mean, why not? You get a gap down 18 points. It's kind of a gift to look at. So I use this 176.50 area as a swing area. Below it, I would look for the overnight low, 172.64. And as this thing goes into rally mode, it's going to have a hard time getting over 180.
Well, here's one really rallying, Joel. Whirlpool, WHR. I don't know if anybody's seen this one coming, but the stock is actually trading up almost $5 on their earnings report, so they blew the numbers away. It's trading at 59.03 after closing at 54.32. Low beta stock just taking off after the report. $5 an absolutely enormous move for this stock. I'd expect some pretty good resistance in this 60 area. We topped out there a couple of times in the high 59, so I'm calling that area 60, and I think that might put a lid on it. Takes that out, then we did have a high late in October where we broke through and got up over, I think it was $62, Joel. But 60, I think, would be some initial resistance.
Yeah, I'd use the 59 and a half level. That's what is topped out in the pre-market. 59 and a half to 60. 60 would fill a gap that it had back in October. Coming back on the downside, Dennis, there's been some spotty trades at 58 for this Benton Harbor, Michigan company. 58 needs to hold in the pre-market. Below 58, your guess is as good as mine, Dennis. I mean, it's a long way to go to fill the gap at 54.69, but in all honesty, I really can't give you a good support number under 58. And I usually can give a number on just about anything.
Joel, we have a lot of financials moving here this morning. We were talking the Big Ten show just when we opened it. Barclays, which is one of your European financials, is up pretty significantly, trading 14.13 right now. BCS, the symbol on that, after closing at 13.53. This is where a couple of spotty tops were up here in this area before. Other stocks like Deutsche Bank are trading higher. We've got Credit Suisse is trading higher by almost a buck. So European banks are rallying here again this morning, and that is lifting the U.S. financials as well. Citigroup is trading up over its 31 area of resistance that we were talking about there yesterday. It's trading at 31.10. And Morgan Stanley, which is one maybe we should do a little bit of technical on. Morgan Stanley breaking out through its critical support, resistance level of that 19 area, trading 19.10 right now. Joel, what do you say on some of these financials? What about Morgan Stanley?
Well, looking at this Morgan Stanley, I mean, these stocks have just, when the market goes down, they just hold steady, and then when there's any kind of rally, they seem to really been taken off, and I got to give a little credit to our colleagues at CNBC. They've kind of been picking up on this. Dollars is a huge number. The high of the move so far has been 1888. So if we could pull back anywhere under $19, perhaps 18.88, 18.90. You'll find good support. Coming back on the upside, Dennis, I don't see much in this stock until 1967, which was the high back on October 28th. That'd be another 60 cents here, 50 cents here from this level. Let's keep an eye though on some of the pre-market activity, which is always a good barometer of what's going to go on. A lot of volumes traded at 1930. So if you're holding on, you're nervous long here, look for your first resistance point at 1925 to 1930.
Seagate Technology, which is symbol STX, it reported earnings as well. Joel's trading 23.19 right now after closing at 21.14. So Seagate getting a really nice lift here. We're breaking out to new 3-year highs on this one, Joel. So you got to go ways back with the numbers. What do you got for us?
22 was huge, Dennis. I'm a buyer at 22.
And an immediate seller at 23. 23.10.
Yeah, this thing busted out over 22. That was an area of resistance. Now you have to go back. You have to go back to basically March of 2008. 23.75 was the high during that month. I would keep an eye on that. And, if in fact we get up to that area, that would be the first stopping point. So far in the pre-market, someone has stepped in here at 23.35. I'd keep an eye on that level in the pre-market as you're coming back on the downside. I know we're traded pretty close to the but boo, if we can't hold 23 and some sellers step in, you got a long way to go to fill the gap from yesterday.
Our little friend the duck Aflac reported earnings as well. Aflac, AFL, Joel. Not trading a lot here yet. 47.70 is where it's just offered right now after closing at 48.23. So hard to gauge where this one is exactly going. It's only traded a couple hundred shares at 48.23 and 48. It is offered at 47.70 though, and there hasn't been any takers been offered there for a while. So it looks like it's going to open down below. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Low there. Maybe you got that number for us there, Joel.
Yeah, 47.68, Dennis. Yeah. We have dipped under there in the pre-market. This stock has had a nice little run, even from the $42 level, making very nice highs here at $49.28 to $49.59. Actually, going back a little bit farther, you had 4 consecutive highs in the mid 49s there, 49.5 area. Doesn't look like we're getting back there today. Just for shorter term. 48.13 was yesterday's low and the close, so that's going to be your first area of resistance. If in fact that 47.68 does not hold, we could be looking at under 47, and the major support would come in at 45.56. But that's quite a ways. I don't think things going to move that much today.
Molycorp, which is MCP, it's getting a decent lift this morning. It's receiving a stake where MollyMet, investment firm MollyMet, is investing $390 million. So taking a $390 million stake, it looks like, in Molycorp, which adds up to like 13%. So Molycorp is actually trading up here at $32.75 right now after closing at $30.98 on that stake. Interesting enough, its range here today, or where it's trading up to today. If you look at yesterday's range, which I'm bringing up right now, if my internet ever works, 32.94 is where it topped out there yesterday, and that seems to be putting a lid on it today. So I'd use that as your first level of resistance. What do you think on MCP, Joel?
Yeah, I'd use that 32.94 yesterday's high as your swing number. If in fact that can break through there, 33.85 is where it topped out in the pre-market, so that'd be your next resistance point. Also going back in December, you had a high at 33.78, so I'd keep an eye on that area if in fact it can get above and hold that 32.94. And then coming back on the downside, Dennis, I mean, you're not talking about much of a gap to fill here since we're right there. Below 32.94, things could really open up until the $32 level.
Some news in GGC WLK. WLK has been trying to get GGC. They increased their bid to 35 bucks. Stock was already trading at 35.05. GGC comes out this morning, rejects the $35 bid. So what's the stock do? It goes down. So it goes down to 33 and a quarter after rejecting the WLK bid. So we've got GGC here. It had gapped up pretty good, and back here, when all this merger talk started. Now pulling back here into the 30, just this morning here, trading 33.50, and WLK actually pulling back as well off of this. 48 or 58.45 is where WLK had closed. Hasn't any trades, but it's offered at 57.5, so it is offered down a buck. So these look like going to be two movers here today. Maybe we can do a technical on both of those for our listeners, Joel.
Well, looking at this GGC here, Dennis, since all this rigmarole, Westlake Chemical, it hasn't traded below 32.75. 32.75 to 33.03 has been the bottom since this news has been out. Obviously, topping out around the $35 level. Interestingly, that's where they came in with their increased bid. So I'd take a look. I mean, at 32.75 is a support point. If it really looks like they're going to reject this and go solo, you got a long way to go back down to the price it was trading at before this news came out. And Westlake Chemical, what's that? WLK?
Yeah, WLK, Joel.
Okay, WLK has been running up nicely. Hit a wall here at 58 yesterday, closes at 58.45. I would use yesterday's low, 57.04, as a swing number. If it breaks below there, you got a nice move down to 56. But when you get all these fundamentals, actions and stuff, it really takes the technicals out of the equation, and you just kind of got to let these two companies hammer it out.
Yeah, it's true enough, Joel. Like we always say, when companies are in play, technicals go away. So, and that's it holds true here probably as well. There's been a lot of other earnings reports here, so check your earnings calendar. We don't have time to go through them all today, but anything else you want to close with here, Joel?
Just on the overall market, just wanted to reiterate, already exceeded our average daily range, so expect major resistance up in this 1320 area. If you're trying to get a hold of something on a pullback, maybe you can take some patience and look for this 1312 area, and also at the close. But that's our show for today, folks. I hope we're giving you some good information. We'll be back with you tomorrow.